I welcome you all to this Constitution Indian Polity class in English. We will continue with part 3 of Directive Principles of State Policy. In the last class, we have seen the definition of state in Article 36, significance of Directive Principles of State Policy in Article 37, and also from Article 38 to Article 44. As far as Article 44 is concerned, I received a few requests because it is a uniform civil code. So they want certain detailed study on Article 44 that I will take separately. Today we will see from Article 45 onwards. First is Article 45. This provides early childhood care and education for children up to the age of 6. Kindly recall this Article 45 originally this provided for free and compulsory education for all children up to the age of 14 to be achieved within 10 years of inception of Constitution. 26 January 1950, within 10 years before 1960 it should have been achieved. But we could not achieve the target. As you know, in the meanwhile, Supreme Court in two cases, one is Mohini Jain case of 1992 and the Unnikrishnan case of 1993, specifically held that a right to education is a fundamental right. You remember, a right to education is a fundamental right. So accordingly, 86th Constitutional Amendment Act 2002 added Article 21A in Part 3, that is fundamental right, making the right to education as a fundamental right. This amendment modified Article 45 also. What is the modification? To provide early childhood care and education to all children below 6 years of age. So this is the modification. So remember, this is a liberal and intellectual principle. Kindly note, this is a liberal and intellectual principle. You may also recall that the same amendment, that is the 86th Constitutional Amendment of 2002, added a fundamental duty in Part 4A under 51A subclass K, imposing a duty upon the parents or guardians to provide opportunity for education to his children in the age group of 6 to 14 years, which the state gives a fundamental right, 6 to 14 years. Same has been added as a fundamental duty to the parent or children. This amendment is very important as it added one fundamental right, one fundamental duty, and modified one directive. 21A, 51A subclass K, and Article 45. This is the contribution of 86th Constitutional Amendment Act 2002. Next comes Article 46. Very, very important from examination point of view. Please note, very important. Because you know, UPSC asks which are the issues which are controversial, which are relevant today. This relates to Article 46, relates to promotion of educational and economic interest of scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, and other weaker section of society. Underline the word other weaker section of society, and also to protect them from social injustice and exploitation. Social injustice, to protect them who SC, ST and weaker section from social injustice and exploitation. Most importantly, this is a Gandhian principle. It is a gateway of reservation policy. I remember I told you when we discussed fundamental right, there was a case regarding Chenbagam Dorarajan versus State of Madras. A girl, forward community girl, was denied admission in a what is known as medical college, and her place, a socially backward class, that is a scheduled caste candidate, has been selected. She filed a petition before the Supreme Court and the High Court also, and both the courts said where there is a clash between a fundamental right and directive principle, fundamental right will prevail over the directive principle. The argument of the Madras government was Article 46. That is why I am telling you this is important. What is the argument of the Madras government? Article 46, which is the directive principle of state policy, says to protect the interests of educationally backward classes and weaker sections. Educational, economic interests of scheduled caste, scheduled tribe and other weaker sections of society, and to protect them from social injustice and exploitation. This is the argument of the Tamil Nadu government, then Madras government. But Supreme Court did not agree. They said they nullified the government of Madras orders on reservation. Then Union of India, Union Parliament brought about the First Amendment Act, adding a specific provision in Article 15. That is, the state can make special provision for advancement of socially and educationally backward classes and scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. This provision was made as a result of First Constitutional Amendment Act 1951. Remember, similarly, invoking this provision, that is Article 46, only 103rd Constitutional Amendment Act 2019 was made, providing reservation for economically weaker sections, not only in jobs but also in educational institutions. See, in both ways this is important. Economically weaker section, it is a sub judice, the matter is in the Supreme Court. The argument of the government is that they have taken Article 46 into account, other weaker sections, social justice and protect them from exploitation. This is the argument of the Government of India for bringing 103rd Constitutional Amendment Act 2019. Now, Article 47. This speaks about two issues. What are the two issues? To raise the level of nutrition and standard of living, improve public health. Remember, this first part deals about, number one, what is that? Level of nutrition, standard of living and improve public health. This is the socialist principle. And this Article 47 adds one more, prohibition of intoxicating drinks and drugs. This is a Gandhian principle. Remember, there are only one state, it is only Gujarat which implements the prohibition policy. No other, because they are all depending on the revenue. Do you think the Tamil Nadu government will afford to prohibition? Can they introduce prohibition? It's not possible. 70% of the revenue come from drinks only, liquor only. So it is not possible. That is why this has been put in the directive principle of state policy. If you put in the fundamental rights, then everybody will go to the court and the government has to enforce prohibition. So the second one, the prohibition of intoxicating drinks and drugs, is a Gandhian policy principle. Then comes Article 48. Again, this has got two provisions. One is to organize agriculture and animal husbandry on scientific and modern lines. To organize agriculture and what is known as animal husbandry on scientific and modern lines. This is a liberal principle, liberal and intellectual. Another provision in Article 48 is prohibits slaughter of cows, cattle. See, very, very important. Today's topic. Almost all North Indian states have prohibited the slaughter of cows. South states, they did not. Kerala, for instance, it's not possible. They earn foreign exchange. Foreign exchange they earn. And most of the people, because it is cheaper, nutritional, protein. So most of the people take beef. I'm not supporting it. I'm telling you the fact. So it has not been, cow slaughter has not been banned. So, but it is a Gandhian principle included in Article 48. You cannot go to the court. It is not justiciable. So, very important from the examination point of view, which directive principle prohibits cow slaughter? Article 48. Remember, this is a Gandhian principle. Then there is an Article 48A. This was added through 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act, which relates to protection of environment, safeguard forests and wildlife. Again, this was added through 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1976. This is a liberal and intellectual principle. Remember, intellectual principle. Then comes Article 49. This speaks about the protection of monuments, places of historical importance, and the places and the monuments which have been declared as national importance. Remember, this is a liberal and intellectual principle. Again. Then comes Article 50, very important, very, very important. Separation of judiciary from executive in public services. This has been implemented almost. Even now, the district collector is the district executive magistrate. Executive, not judicial magistrate. There is a separate judicial magistrate, but collector continues to be the executive magistrate. So the 1973 CRPC Amendment Act, completely they divided. They have taken away the judiciary from the executive. Almost all states have introduced this. Then comes what is known as Article 51. This concerns promotion of international peace, security, and foster respect for international law and settlement of international disputes through arbitration, by arbitration. So, almost all NAM, CHOGM, SAARC, all these things are to settle the dispute between the countries by arbitration, by dialogue, reconciliation, not confrontation. So now let us see what are the details of directives added to the Constitution after 26 January 1950 in directive principles. Remember, in directive principles. Very simple. 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act added 4 directives. 44th Constitutional Amendment Act 1978 added 1 directive. 86th Constitutional Amendment Act 2002 added 1 directive. 97th Constitutional Amendment Act added 1 directive. What are those? Number 1. Subclass F of 39. Healthy development of children. This was added through 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1976. Then comes Article 39A, promotion of equal justice and legal aid, 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act of 1976. Then comes 43A, participation of workers in management, 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1976. 48A, protection of environment and forest, 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1976. Article 38, which modified to include reduction of inequality in income, status, facility and opportunity. Remember, opportunity. This is added through 44th Constitutional Amendment Act 1978. Then 45, Article 45, modified to provide early childhood care and education, which I already explained. This was added through 86th Constitutional Amendment Act 2002. Then 43B, promotion of cooperative societies in voluntary formation, etc. This was added through 97th Constitutional Amendment Act 2011. So, thus 7 directives have been added through 4 constitutional amendments. Remember, I have told you 7 directives added through 4 constitutional amendments. Thank you.